So this could look like something you get, right, on the exam, where they give you the balance sheet, right? And then there's an income statement. And so I think what I would do is I'm just going to start with my balance sheet because I know that I have to deal with every one of those changes, right? So I'm going to start there. So what do I do? Cash and cash equivalents. What is my change there? Is it positive or negative? Good. So where does that number go? It doesn't go in operating. Everybody wants to put it there. So that's a common thing. Yeah. Yes, right. We go way down here. Right? That is our cash flows for the year, right? That's the amount we're solving for, right? Is that what you said, Riley? Oh, okay. Oh, I'm going to say what you said. Right, that's the whole point. We're trying to figure out why cash changed by negative $6. Okay, then I have accounts receivable. Did it go up or go down? All right, so where am I going to put it? Good, under operating. So is that going to be a plus 100 or a minus 100? Right, it's the opposite for assets. Either. As long as I can tell that you mean it to be negative. Okay, how about inventory? Where's that going to go? What section? Operating. Did that go up or go down? Down. So what am I going to put here? What amount? Good. Plus 50, yep. Good. How about prepaid expenses? Did that go up or go down? Go up. It went up. So what am I going to do with that? In which section, RJ? Operating. Good. Good. Okay, so I am going to, like I said last week, I'm going to kind of skip my PP&E and my accumulated depreciation. And did I have anything else? We're going to come back to it. We're just going to save it to the end. And then if you read the narrative, you can see that we sold some equipment and we also sold some long-term investments. So I'm just going to hang out and wait and not do anything with long-term investments yet. We'll come back to it. Okay. So I'll just keep working my way down. I have accounts payable. Did it go up or go down? It went up. So what am I going to do with it? Increase, right? In which section? Good. You don't have to. I'll understand what you're saying. How about accrued liabilities? What section is that going to go in? Operating, right? Am I going to add it or subtract it? Right, because it goes in the same direction. Okay, income taxes payable. What section?
Operating.
Right, it's another current liability, right? And then are we going to add that change or subtract it? Right, good. Okay, then I'm going to keep working my way down. Now notice I don't do anything with total current liabilities, right? Because we've handled each one individually. Bonds payable, what section does that go in? Financing, good. And what am I going to do? Am I going to add that or subtract that? Add it, right? Good. So my common stock changed, and I'm just going to look and see if it says anything about common stock. Do you guys see, what does it tell me? We repurchase, right? So is that going to be a positive or a negative? In which section? Good. Okay, and then I have my retained earnings. So this is where we can use what we just did, right? So retained earnings beginning plus net income. Plus dividends. It's going to give me retained earnings at the end. So in this case, they were nice, right? They told me what my net income is, right? What's my net income? Do I find net income on the balance sheet?
No, there's no revenue expense. This? Oh, last page.
Yes, this, yep, yeah, it's on the income statement, right? Net income shows up on the income statement. So do we see net income? 63. I'm just going to plug that in right here. Where does net income go on my statement of cash flows? Operating, right? It's the very first line, right? Good. Okay, so what does it say about dividends? Did I pay any dividends this year? Does it say that, or you guys calculated it already? Okay. Good. So I have to figure it out from over here. Right? If we know our beginning and our ending and we know net income, we can figure it out, right? What'd you get, Arjun? I get 30 if my math is right, right? So if you add the top two and subtract this, that tells you what number needs to go in there. Does that make sense? Is everybody? Okay. So we figured out that dividends has to be 30. Where does that 30 go? Good. Is that a positive or negative number? Negative, right? Because we paid out dividends. Everybody good? Questions? Okay, so I'm going to deal with the last 3 problematic ones, right? So I'm going to use my T accounts. So I'm going to use one for PP&E. Whoops. I'm going to use another one for accumulated depreciation. And the last one for long-term investments. Okay. And the reason why I have to do that for those 3 accounts is because I had more than one thing causing the change. Right, so in PP&E, I'm going to plug in my balances for PP&E, right? I started with how much in PP&E? 470, and what did I end up with? 610, good. Did I sell any equipment? And what was the cost of that equipment that I sold? 40, right? So out of this 470, I sold 40 of it, right? So that's going to bring the balance down. So the amount that I purchased would have to go right here, right, to bring that account up. It's the same exact equation as we did over here. It would just be beginning PP&E plus purchases minus sales gives us ending PP&E, right? So what number is going to have to go there to make that equal? To make it, so you want, it's 470 minus 40 plus X equals 610. Does that, yeah, right. If you look at the second page, it says during this year, we sold some equipment for $20 that had cost us 40. So that means that 40 was sitting in that original 470. Okay. So if we determine that this purchase number is 180, where is that number going to go on our statement? Investing. Good, right? Purchases, PP&E. Is that a positive or negative? Good. Oops. Did we have a gain or a loss associated with that sale of equipment? Right, loss of $4, right? Does everybody see that on the income statement too? So what do I do with that? To what? Remember, it gets added up here. We're going to handle that in just a sec. But remember, so that that loss on sale of equipment, that -4, does everybody see that? Right, that brought my net income down. That brought this down. So we're going to add it back because it's not an operating activity, right? It's an investing activity. So we need to get rid of it up in operating. So oops. Remember, this is like step 5 or whatever on your list of what to do in the operating section. You add back the loss. Okay. It's going to look similar to this. It's not going to be as hard. Yeah. Okay. Is everybody sort of okay there? Do we also see, do we see any kind of gain or anything on the income statement? So where do I put that? What do I do with it? Add or subtract? Good. Okay, then we're going to deal with accumulated depreciation. What's my beginning balance in accumulated depreciation? $85, good. And what's my ending balance in accumulated depreciation?
93.
Good. So let me just point something out here. I don't want you to not study things that are hard, but I'm just going to say, like this with PP&E, I'm not going to have you do this. Like, I'm not going to have 2 things going in and out of PP&E, just because I don't think it's necessary for this audience. Are there even any accounting majors in here? No. Oh, 1. Well, you'll get to learn about it again in intermediate, so it's not a problem. But you do need to know this, accumulated depreciation. What makes accumulated depreciation go up? You guys remember? It's accumulated depreciation.
It's just adding loss over time.
Yeah, so yes, so it's our depreciation. This is going to go up for our depreciation expense each year. So you do need to know that, because where do we put depreciation expense on here?
No, operating.
Right, we add it back to operating. But in this particular case, we have 2 things going on here, okay? So is it accumulated depreciation is going down because we sold an asset, right? So I have to take that out. So it said I had accumulated depreciation of 16. So that's going to come out. Whatever is on this side is my depreciation expense. Whatever I need to make those numbers work is my current depreciation expense. So again, this is just like that equation over there. This is 85 minus 16 plus whatever gives me 93. Can you guys solve for that? 24? Perfect, right? So this number has to be 24 to make that work out. And then you just told me, where do I put that 24? Good. Because if you read in the narrative, it says when we sold that equipment, there was accumulated depreciation of 16 on that asset that we sold. So it went away.
Oh, I mean, it's sold, which has
Right. Yep.
relative equipment depreciation goes away.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh, that makes sense.
Okay. So how are we going to know if we're done or not? Yeah, so make sure when you do this, you give me a subtotal for each category, right? Because that's what investors are going to look at. So I'm going to figure out the subtotals for each of these. And I'm just going to use my auto sum. So am I done? No, right? We're missing something, right? Because that negative 36, did everybody get negative 36? Yeah, we're off by something. So, just as a reminder, right? If we look back, we sold some equipment for $20. Is that a cash flow? It is. We didn't put that in anywhere, right? Where should that go? What category? So we're buying equipment. Does that help? Investing, right? Okay, good. So here we need to put sale of equipment. And we got a positive 20. And there's one more thing. Can you guys find it? Sold long-term investments. How much did we get? $10, right? And that's also an investing activity. Good. Okay, so then what do we do now? We're almost done. What goes down there at the bottom? What was my beginning cash? 15, right? It's right there on the balance sheet. And if I've done everything right, obviously, we should end up with the 9, right? If we add those, the -6 cash flows plus the 15, we should end up with 9.